All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. It is a beautiful rainy day here in California today. It's been raining since as early as I woke up at 6 in the morning. Probably started raining before then, and it has been non-stop thus far. I do hope that everybody's doing good out there today. Friends and family doing good. There is quite a bit to do in the shop these days. Hopefully the connection isn't too bad. I guess we will find out here in a minute. As usual, I'm going to wait a few minutes before I get started. And whoever is joining in and tuning in, if you could just let me know how the connection is. Something tells me that it's probably not going to be too good. The Wi-Fi is not very good out here today. I don't know if it's because of the rain. So currently just running off of my phone data, no Wi-Fi. So if you're here, just let me know, drop a comment, and let me know if the connection is good or not. Either way, I'm just gonna run with it because it's been quite some time already again since I've done any live streams, and I do feel bad about that. So today's my first day off from work, so and like I said, there's quite a bit to do in the shop these days. And overall, just really glad to be blessed to be able to wake up and see another day, to be able to live another day and do what I love doing, and that is working on chainsaws, doing live streams, and connecting with everybody. And overall, just being able to wake up today. And like I said, I hope the same for everybody else. Hope everybody finds themselves well today. It's raining here in California today, which I like it. I like the sunshine. I do like some warmth, but you know, I definitely I'll take cold any day. So just gonna get this going. What I have going on is I have 7 201Ts. 6 of them are TCs, so Mtronic version of the 201T. So basically all that means is that it has a self calibrating or self-adjusting carburetor. So opposed to the manual calibration or tune, whatever you want to call it. But as far as the carburetors go, everything else is the same. The only other thing that does change is between the TC models and the T is the handles. So the Mtronics have it's essentially a choke position, but with these Mtronics, it's a little different, and so it just has essentially one choke setting, and then it goes into run. And the 201Ts, because it does have a manual adjust carburetor, the handle has an additional choke position for the carburetor. So it has your choke, half choke, and then run. And like I said, opposed to the TC models, it just has a choke, and then it goes into the run. And then of course the carburetors are different. As far as the Mtronics have what they call a solenoid valve. So that's essentially what regulates the carburetor, if that makes any sense. It basically tells the carburetor how to run and how much fuel and mixture. So just more gadgets, more electronics, opposed to the 201T, where we tell it how much fuel to let in on the high, how much fuel to let in on the low, or whatever. But as far as everything else goes, it's still a carburetor. It still has metering diaphragm. It has everything except for the solenoid valve. We have our channel 1 says, "What are you doing?" And much love to you. Welcome in. Appreciate you tuning in. So right now I'm just kind of gabbling on about the differences of the 201Ts, but overall, I pulled out 7 steel 201Ts that these are all my personal saws, personal projects that I've acquired over the time of doing saw work and working on saws. And so basically the end goal is to refurbish them, to get them back into a running state, and then hopefully sell a couple of them. I'm gonna keep one of them for myself, but I don't need 7. And there's definitely other folks out there that have way more use for them than I do, at least right now. So basically those that cater to tree service, or maybe they have property, or they have a ranch or a farm, but primarily though tree service. So I finally pulled them all out of my storage unit, along with everything else, because some of them are put together, some of them are halfway put together. Actually, this one, when I first got it, I cleaned it up, but just from sitting in storage, it's gotten a a little dirty, but this one's pretty clean. It just needs a little touch-up cleaning, and some of them don't run because of top end issues, so scored piston, cylinder, um, and some of them, I feel like most of them are just going to need some carburetor work, but I haven't looked at them since I got them. I've had them for at least a year, and they've just been kind of on the back burner, just for the reason that when a customer saw comes in, or there's people bringing me their saws or other equipment, of course they come first and business comes first. But I'm at the point right now where I can start pulling out project saws and start working on some of my own stuff, which is it's something to get used to. I haven't done that in about a year, so now I'm at the point where I can start finally pulling out stuff from the collection, and try to get some of these going, and hopefully into the hands of those that, like I said, have more use for them than I do right now. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Just gonna go through them and just see what kind of conditions they are. I know this one right here definitely needs some top end work, piston, cylinder, but I don't know the severity of it. I just know that it does have scoring, but maybe it's something that I can clean up, but we'll see. And that's just kind of what I'm doing. This one here, I think this one kind of does run, but I guess I could find out because I have fuel, and that's just one of the many benefits. The main benefit of being here at this new house and having this shop is that I can actually fire them up. I don't have to go walking somewhere or take them somewhere to go run them. I can do it all here, and that's just one of the many, like I said, many blessings of having found this house and having this shop. But yeah, we have Grant in the house. What up, Grant? Hope you're doing well, sir. Says you missed my first live. Where is everyone? I'm kind of wondering the same. I feel like, well, hopefully the connection is good. So if it's not because of connection, it's probably just because maybe everybody's a little bit busy, or maybe the connection isn't good. And but let me know if the connection is okay. I'm just running off of my phone data because the Wi-Fi is not really working out here right now. And I apologize I missed your live, man. I haven't really been too active on YouTube these days. Speaking of Liam, he's actually the one that brought it up to my attention, or he's the one that brought it up a few days ago, and he's like, what's going on with your channel? He's like, why aren't you posting? Like, you don't really post anymore. And so I told him, I said, I know. I said, I just kind of busy with life right now. And, when I do come out here to work on saws, I just, I've had a couple of customer saws come in, and I just want to get them done. And I'm kind of not really super pressed for time, but, I try to get out here, when I get off of work, and then I just kind of have my personal life, as well. But, I know I've said it numerous times in the past, but I'm really striving to get better on that, because I do miss hanging out with you guys. I miss, doing our live streams, and just I miss working on saws, a lot. And because I have slowed down a little as far as customer saws, but now it's all, majority of it is just personal stuff, which is really exciting too. But again, it's just finding the time and the motivation after, a long work week. But anyways, it's kind of excuses at this point, I feel like. So, but we're here today. um, you seem sad and down. What's wrong? I'm not. No, no, I'm not. I'm not down, man. I'm actually doing really good. Um, everything's been going really good. I think maybe because I'm not as like animated, you know. I probably look a little tired because I've been staying up kind of late these days. But but in all honesty, man, I'm doing good. You know, there's really at this point in time, there's really nothing to be sad about. My family's doing good. Um, you know, my girlfriend and I are doing good. Work is going really good. Really busy. Um, and and now I have some projects on the bench, 201s, and I have some exciting stuff happening. So, so a couple of the exciting things that are happening on TikTok, because I also have TikTok now since April of this year. Um, you know, I do live streams on there every now and then, but not too much. Um, and when I do decide to do a live stream, or I can do a live stream, I always do a live stream here because you know my main live stream platform, and you know, and I've built a lot of good like friendships and stuff through our live streams here on YouTube. But every now and then I do try to do a live on YouTube, or excuse me, TikTok. But anyways, the exciting part about off of my followers and whatever, because I have a little over, I have like 2.6 thousand followers on TikTok. And so anyways, so now I'm eligible to run a TikTok shop. So people can buy products from my TikTok shop. So being said that, you guys already know how I feel about crocodile cloths. I've been using these for at least a year, maybe a little over a year. This is literally the magic tool that helps these saws look the way they do once I'm done cleaning them. Of course, I use an air compressor as well and brushes, but crocodile cloths. So I'm now offering crocodile cloths on my TikTok shop. I have a little sample care package coming from Crocodile Cloth, so which is it's a bundle that I'm offering on my shop. It has the original cloths, the power scrub cloths, and the grill. Um, and then of course I'm offering each of their cloths that I like individually too, so you don't have to buy them in a bundle. And I'm going to be adding more products, but I want to add products to my TikTok shop that I use personally, that I like a lot, that I think could be beneficial to other people. So of course, you know, I had to have crocodile cloth on there. I was trying to find super cleaner, degreaser cleaner, because this is another thing that I use to clean the saws, as far as like clutches, sprockets. I mainly use it for chain cleaning because I clean them before I sharpen them. But I'm still trying to find a way to add that to my TikTok shop. And then over time, I'm going to be adding some more products, like gloves, and also too, you know, if anybody is ever interested in trying crocodile cloths or buying them, if you buy them through my TikTok shop, it also does help me a little bit too. I earn a few bucks for every sale that I make, so that's really exciting. I I don't know, it's exciting stuff. And then also too, soon the so you guys have heard me talk about Precision Saw Service. Michael Gage is the man that runs Precision Saw Service. That's his company. He makes mufflers for a lot of different models now. 201s were the first ones I think he was doing. So he's actually going to send me a version 2 of his 201T muffler. So it's just a revised, updated version. So I'm really excited. So that's also what kind of fueled the motivation to get these 201s going, because I want to have at least one 201 in good running condition. So by the time he sends me his batch of mufflers. He's gonna send me one just to try out because I've already tried his version 1, which you guys can find it on our channel or Instagram or TikTok. So I'm really excited about that. So he's out of stock right now, but he's working on a new batch. So I'll have those soon, and so just little cool things happening. So we have Liam in the house. What up, Liam? Glad you were able to make it, man. Hope you're doing well as everybody else that's tuning in today. Grant says our shed is full of stuff, front to back with stuff I haven't finished, so I understand how you feel. When you have that much undone stuff, it makes you wonder why you even mess with it. You know, certain things, I guess, it's definitely overwhelming because then you see everything that you want to work on, you know, and it's just, yeah, it can be a little overwhelming. And, you know, I never second guess, you know, like, why am I even messing with these saws, or why am I even doing it? Because I love it. I know you love what you do. Everybody here hopefully loves working on chainsaw equipment, but it's just like, I think what gets me, or what I find myself thinking, is like, I have a hoarding problem. I just buy stuff, you know, but there's just like most things in life, you know, a lot of the times there's a lot to do with too little time. Of course, it's all about time management and stuff, but sometimes even managing your time and balancing whether you're going to school or work, or, you know, you have your personal life, family, friends, social life. It gets tricky, man. It really does, you know. Anyways, let's look at some of these saws, man. Let's just check it out. But I'm really glad. See, this is why YouTube will always be my number one, and you guys will always be, you know, my day one hitters, because, you know, we just talk, you know, we check in, we connect, and that's why I really like doing these live streams. And you know, I do my best to keep doing them when time is available. Anyways, all right, so let's look at some of these. So this one, and these are all dirty. So, because again, I've just bought them. I've gotten some of these through trade, either for like work, or just trade for other stuff, parts or other things. Some of these I did buy for a really good price. I don't even remember anymore, really. And so the trades, a lot of them came from, you know what, I don't want to spend the money on fixing them or whatever, or just, you know, I think I'm just gonna get a new one because people have money like that. And so then that's when I say, well, what are you gonna do with it? And a lot of the time it's like, well, I'm just gonna leave it there and eventually just, I don't know. And so that's when I step in and I say, well, let's do something with it. Let me get it. Let me work something out. So, and that's when I had a little more money myself, because I just buy stuff, okay? And I don't always got money like that. So anyways, so there, a lot of them are pretty nasty still. Some of them are missing parts because I've taken them apart. I did inspections on them, but I don't remember the condition of most of these saws except for this one. I do know that it needs a top end. Other than that, everything looks okay. And I know most of these are gonna need some carburetor work. This one, when I got it, this is the first one that I got. And this one I did inspect. Everything looks good on it. I think this just needs some carburetor work, and I think this one needed either just some clutch springs or the whole clutch itself, but I cleaned this one up at that time, so that's why this one looks really nice. But just from sitting in storage, it got a little dirty when I had them stored at the previous place that I was living, so at my grandparents' house. But now that they're in a storage unit, everything doesn't get dusty and whatnot. And then some of these are just really just nasty. So, like I said, all of these except for one is, what was I gonna say? So 6 of these, I have 7. 6 of them are TCs, M-Tronics, and the only one that's not an M-Tronic is this one here. And this is the one that needs the top end. This one I think is the one that kind of runs, but I can't remember. So let's look at that one first. Let's put some gas in it, and that's probably why it don't run. It ain't got no gas in it. Let's just put some fuel in it and see what it do. Uh-oh. This one does have a little fuel in it. Ooh. I don't know what happened to my jar that I was putting fuel in. That's another thing that I need to buy, is like a galvanized bucket or something. So Grant's asking, how do you clean saws? So basically what I do is I use pick tools. I do either a straight point, but my favorite one is the ones that have a 45 degree. So this one's kind of got like a 45 and a little curve to it. These are actually new for me. I've had them for a little while now, but a straight one and then a 45 degree. And the way that I do that, the way I use those is I just scrape off all the dirt and grime. It helps get into the little like nooks and crannies. And then of course, crocodile cloth. This is really the star of the show for the cleaning. And then I use a wire brush, specifically this style here, narrow here, and then it's got a little small tip on the end. And I use the stainless steel, and then air compressor, and that's about it, and a little elbow grease, and that's all. When I clean clutches or sprockets or chains or the bars, I use Super Clean. I was using Purple Power, but Super Clean really is really good. I mean, I like this one better. I mean, they're very similar, I would say. But the Super Clean, I think, has the upper hand. They also offer Super Clean in a foam, which I don't like that one personally. I like just the regular spray. So that's how I do it. Soon, I actually still need to get an air compressor because I left the other one behind. It wasn't mine. It was my grandfather's. But I need to get an air compressor because that really just helps out a lot. And then also, I am getting ready to invest into a ultrasonic cleaner because that'll also save some time. Because I feel like, even though I love doing it by hand, or I really like doing it by hand, and it's really satisfying to see the saw come together once it starts getting all clean. I've done it since the beginning of the shop, and it definitely takes a toll on your hands a little bit. It takes quite a bit of time, especially me. I start getting really OCD, and especially when you're doing it for customer saws and you have a good group of saws that you're trying to get through. It's just, it takes a lot of time. For personal projects, I think doing them by hand is okay, but if you want to save your hands and a little bit of like some of that like labor, throw them in an ultrasonic cleaner and it cleans them up really, really nice. So I think I'm still going to do them by hand, but I kind of want to start saving my hands a little bit and then save a little time, especially for these. I want to clean them up really nice, like we're used to seeing, and once they're all done, sell them at some point, or whoever needs one, sell it to them, because I don't need 7. And as much as I'm a chainsaw fanatic and whatever, I don't need 201s. I'm gonna keep one for myself. I'm gonna keep an M-Tronic for myself. And then, so I want to give the people a good product as usual. So we got Val in the house. What up, Val? And shout out to Val. It was her birthday yesterday. So happy birthday. Hope you had a good day yesterday. And here's to many more. And I appreciate you being here. Grant says, don't waste your money on Zep. It's terrible. Those are nice. Yeah, the ultrasonic cleaners, they're really nice, man. I think it's a good investment. I think they work well, especially for saving time or doing a bunch of parts in one, at a time. Zep cleaner, I've never tried it. I do like some of their products. Like their spray bottles are okay. I have some of their oil spill cleanup, but there are better ones. I don't know. But yeah, Purple Power was my go-to for a long time. But I started off with Super Cleaner when I worked at the power equipment shop. That's what we had, Super Cleaner. So that was actually what I used in the real beginning before I even started up doing my own thing. And then I went into Purple Power because I was familiar with Purple Power. I'm a car guy too. I like cars and whatnot. But the Super Clean, good stuff. Let's get some fuel in this and see what it does. I'm curious now. Where the hell can I throw this? Oh. Found it. That's why you should keep a clean shop. Wow, nothing in there. Okay. Just a little bit in there, but it should be all right. Val says, thanks, I went shopping yesterday. Hopefully you found some nice stuff, some goodies. Nothing like a little retail therapy. Also too, I think one of these gas cans here, these no spill cans, great investment. Instead of using your gallon jug or your quart can, this is the way to do it. I'm gonna just put a little bit in here, just enough to try to start it. I need to buy some more fuel. But really, I don't stock up on fuel like that. I just kind of buy it as I need it. So this is an M-Tronic 201T TC. Let's see what it do. Let me turn this around. Look at that. Man, it's nice having a phone stand or a tripod. Another good investment. So I always say to start your chainsaws with the chain brake, but in this case, it has no bar, has no chain, so there's really no need to start it with the chain brake on. But definitely, if you have a bar and chain on it, definitely want to start your saw with the chain brake on. Something tells me. Let's go ahead and get rid of this cover. Let's see what kind of results we get with this. I kind of want to, I've been wanting to try one for a while, but I've been wanting to try a scrunch. Or excuse me, wow. A ratchet scrunch. All right, let's give her a whiz. Just private. plenty of compression. Oh. Huh. Well then. It's been so long since I've seen any of these saws, at least a year, so I don't know. It's all kind of coming back to me a little bit. But this one, something tells me that this one doesn't even have a carburetor in it. Well, that ain't gonna do nothing. Let me I thought I had some carburetors. Here's all the bag of parts for all these. Oh boy. Okay. So one thing that I've learned about these Tool 1s, I learned this last year. And if I remember correctly, Aaron was the one that told me about these M-Tronics, is that, so there's three, so there's the first gen, second gen, and third. And so they're all different. So like the first gen solenoid valve is black, the second generation is green, and then the current version 3.0 is red. So it is white with a little red dot on it. And so it'll look like this. So that is a third generation solenoid valve. And one thing that I've learned is that each solenoid valve, so the black, the green, and the red, they all correspond with the coil. So essentially what I'm saying is, you can't just say, oh, well, I have a first generation solenoid valve, I'm gonna upgrade it to a third gen. You can, but the thing is, it's not gonna run right because that coil and that solenoid valve go hand in hand. It's interesting. It's a very interesting thing. So I've learned that, and because I've done that in the past where I'm like, oh, it's got a bad solenoid valve in it, so let me just buy a new one, but I'll buy obviously the newest version. I popped it in and it just doesn't run quite right. And actually this one here is the first gen. And speaking of first gen, we got first generation farmer in the house. It says, want to sell one? Absolutely. Once I get them all dialed in and ready, absolutely. I'm gonna keep one for myself, but like I keep saying, I definitely don't need 7. Grant says, yeah, the bottles are nice, but it's like cleaning with cold water, it does nothing. Exactly. First gen says, I'll buy one. You guys heard it here first. I'm down. Okay, so this is a first generation solenoid valve, and that's the solenoid valve right there. This one, I don't remember. If I remember correctly, I think this one was a second gen. Now that I'm remembering, like I said, it's been so long, but it's kind of coming back. And I remember because that one had a little piece missing out of the fan housing, which seems to be a very common thing on these top handles. So this is probably not going to run. Let's just see if I have it in here. So here is a third generation or version solenoid valve. See, it's got the white with the little red mark on it. It probably won't run right in this because like I said, I'm remembering that this was a second generation. But let's pop it in and see what kind of results we get. I'm gonna clean it off a little bit. Also, these brushes are really good for cleaning parts. So what I'm going to do first, before putting it in, I'm going to check the metering diaphragm and just see the condition of it. Because if that metering diaphragm is crispy, it ain't going to run. Oh. What the heck? Or it might run, but it's probably not going to run very good. All right, let's give it a whiz. Let's give it a whiz. First Gen says, I want a 200T bad. Yeah, man, their 200Ts are cool. They can be a little finicky, though. At least in my experience. Why do I feel like something's missing? All right, let's give her a go. Actually, I think, oops. Whoops. Let's do that one last. Do this one here first.